Uh, I prefer Star Wars personally.
I didn't get
And
into
and
either.
Simeon then just fucking bails and goes, "What the fuck? Why did I run away?"
I like it. He's like, I wasn't running away, but it looked like I was running away.
But of course, Simeon. Maybe you just lost grasp on the situation, or maybe you're losing grasp on reality, Simeon.
I
Who
think he lost
knows?
grasp on reality by about day one.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Did I try to behave calmly in a situation? To be honest, he actually didn't do too bad once he stopped being a rude ass and did something, you know? Like, he didn't respond much, but he danced, he smiled where appropriate.
Mm. And then we get one of these, which is something that actually showed up in our other playthrough.
Though there are
Occasionally.
some interesting things that do show up, and I don't know if this is going to autoplay. Oh yeah, there it goes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fishing with the father.
Which is interesting, because I don't think we actually get much on backstory regardless of what line we play. And this is really just the first time we see anything that happened with some detail or at least description of the outside world.
But yes, a dark, incomplete building out near our country house full of ghosts, vampires, or maybe just hobos. I'd say the last one can occasionally be the scariest of the bunch.
Yeah. Though I find it interesting in how it describes it.
A brick falls on his foot and he loses a toenail. That's a pain I know well. But he has his first victory in a video game tournament with a console game. Fucking peasant.
Shh. Console games are fun, okay?
Yeah, no.
But
As long as you're not the sort of console gamer that seems insistent that the console is better than PC, like in terms of power and stuff.
no.
That's just delusion. But
Anyway,
if you like console games, I won't hold there's nothing wrong with that.
but though this is actually quite interesting, is that like he's going through a bit of history for himself and does actually bring up that there was someone he did claim to love when he was younger.
But your first love,
And that-
can you ever call that love? Do you even know what love is at that sort of age?
Well, that's the terminology he's using to describe it, so I'm going to accept that as that's actually true for him.
What
Well, I
is
do
love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Hurt me.
Don't
Whoa.
hurt me no more.
Whoa.
Sorry, you were saying? Before
Yeah,
I
I do find it
interrupted.
interesting that a lot of this seems like it's referencing the other lines or parts of this game during that bit of self-monologue there. I'll bring it up kind of where appropriate. And yeah, it's this scene. This is just... I really like this scene.
Yeah.
I still
Get a
don't know...
pretty sunset with a Slavia and not being frightened.
And, you know, the complete random change of hair colour, but we accepted that.
Yeah, it goes from being brown to red to whatever the hell this colour is to black. Clearly it's for better immersive purposes. So no matter your hair colour, you can be immersed and be Semyon. You too could be Semyon.
Just wear
I
a
don't know
paper
why.
bag and have no face.
I was going to say, I don't know why I suddenly put on my infomercial voice.
Neither. Though, I think this whole little conversation they have here is actually a rare bit of decent, of like, just character building.
Character and world building, yeah.
Yeah. Because while we do get a little bit of it in each of the other lines, this is probably the only time we get a very... Here it is in one nice, clump. The rest of it is very much looking... Yeah, no, it's doing the thing again.
Your autoclick seems to have paused.
I don't know why.
The whole idea behind this behind starting with the autoclick was to avoid avoid if something happened with our video and we still had audio, you could just re-record. But I don't know how well that'd work with all these random pauses.
I think it would work better. But anyways, let's get back to the scene, because I really like this scene, and I like, just the conversation they have is, not dull. It isn't not just a sort of how's the weather. It's actually a nice little conversation between the two actually talking, even if it gets a little bit on the philosophical side of things.
And Semyon commenting about how he doesn't even feel like he's entirely in control of his own actions. Bit of world building, who knows?
A little bit of world building, but I think it's also definitely more on the character development side of things, as we don't seem to get that, but
you're always thinking about something. Even if I'm thinking about nothing, it's because I'm thinking about the concept of nothing rather than just.
So I do find that's an interesting one. Owls.
Sovnyok means owlet, the name of this camp. Thematic significance, perhaps.
Maybe.
I remember we ended up discussing more porks when this came up in the last recording session.
Yes, the more porks, the New Zealand ones, but...
Sounds like they're asking for more pork. I think that's literally the whole reason they have their name.
Yep. And I find it's... Also this bit where they discuss themselves and how they see themselves. Like, I think this is the only time a serious discussion between two characters happen in this game where they relate themselves to each other like this. And I'm actually really happy for this. This is nice. Like,
it's too bad we have to go through this a second time.
I know, it'd be so much nicer to have had the original reactions to all of this. But, but this, and him talking about...
Semyon's
and it's actually interesting that, like, that feels like there's a lot of reference, that's a bit of a references there to some of the other lines in this game.
Guitar in the corner, necktie hanging from the lamp, heap of dirty socks under the bed.
Yeah, I considered that
looking
being
around my room, that's a familiar sight.
No, he never got up early. He got up early once.
Yes, we talked about this. Yeah, like he said, I just woke up at midday, just cash, missed everything. Just about missed lunch, and then got annoyed at the fact he woke up at midday, and it's like... He's a night owl. He likes to sleep. Makes two of us, mate. See, my solution to that, the earlier you get up, the more you can do during the day. My solution to that is to stay up until it's early.
Yeah, if you don't sleep, you have more time.
There are so many things wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a perfect response. If you just stop sleeping, you have an infinite amount of time to do things.
Clearly.
Perfect.
Sleep is just so inconvenient. So bloody inconvenient.
It is. Yep. That's very true, Semyon. You paid attention to someone else.
Starting something. It's like nothing can upset you. It's like, why?
No, you're a morning person. That doesn't make you ordinary.
Yeah, that makes you abnormal in my book.
I'm not considered to have gotten out of bed until I have at least my second coffee of the day.
And I remember you commenting about how Semyon said, I'm the strange one here. I remember you saying something about that. I don't remember what it was.
No, it was that bit there where... It was that bit there where he mentioned previous, as I wasn't too sure whether that was a reference to
other lines or his previous life
before,
prior to Sovnyok.
Yeah. And then
I reckon it makes a little more sense if it's talking about his life prior to Sovnyok, because, This line isn't... not everyone does this line last.
That is true.
I remember commenting about how I have friends who don't feel like they belong where they are, where they live. And he's just going, stop paying attention to me.
This is weird. Then again, we do know that he is a very self-deprecating in his opinion of himself. Especially here, where he's
That's another thing I know.
You would have never have noticed me had it not been for here.
That's another thing I know. I know well. I know the sensation. And she's scared by this. Spooked. But he didn't avert his eyes. He's being serious. Of course, there's no one else like you. Everyone is unique. The whole crowd says, everyone is unique. We are all individuals. One bloke goes, I'm not. Monty Python and the Life of Brian is an amazing film. Do you find it visible when I say the name Biggest Dickus? Okay, maybe I shouldn't be talking about Monty Python right now.
Maybe not at this scene. This is not a Monty Python scene.
No. But I mean, I was going to comment though, you've stopped even trying to be subtle when I derail things. You just go, shh, shut up. Take it seriously.
It's appropriate in some situations, but this is such a nice scene.
Yeah, now Slavia's being Slavia and saying, we need to do something. Can't do nothing.
And then he just... Then he goes back to being rude.
Almost came out of his shell, then nope, right back into it.
Yep. I like how he's afraid of doing all the work, yet I'm pretty sure earlier on in the week, when he cleaned up the square in the middle of the day, he was like, there's no rubbish here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was something that I don't know, I just feel like it...
But just, he's being a pain.
He is, he's being incredibly painful at this point. Everything was going so well and he's like, I'm this, I'm that. And then the opportunity to actually be everything he said he didn't want to be? Correction. Everything he said that came up for him to, do something about his situation. He's like, no. And he's just like, no.
He knows where he is, but is he really willing to put in the effort to save himself, to help himself?
I think that's definitely something that this line may be bringing up.
I remember having a discussion with a friend about this sort of thing, like, it's all well and good wanting help, but you can't just expect others to carry you along. You have to help yourself just as much as others have to help you.
And what we're seeing here is the perfect example of that. His want of help to change has to be him actually wanting that.
You can say, oh, I don't like how I'm such a recluse and a loner and all that, but
when someone turns around and gives you the opportunity,
you just go, nah, I can't be asked, and it's just, that's not how it works. I have to say it myself, I'm probably guilty of it sometimes.
Everyone's guilty of that.
And now he's just going, I am a failure. I am just, what a failure. Yeah, Semyon, you're only a failure because you made yourself one.
Yeah, in this situation here, yes, you willingly picked the option of, I'm a failure. And then, just rude. Like, I don't know whether... I took that as him getting like yelly with the use of the exclamation mark at the end of that sentence.
You can go. Good night. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. Screw it. I'll date the episode of this, the date recording of this episode. But Gene Wilder died today. Speaking of which,
Yes, that was very sad news, to be honest. I was like, oh, I didn't
remember-
know. Carry on.
I remember him commenting about, he had Alzheimer's, but he didn't make it public because he didn't want, the sadness or stigma associated with Alzheimer's to be associated with his role as Mr. Willy Wonka. But you were saying?
Him being just like, why did I ask that? Why did I not do something different? And it's just like,
You had the opportunity, you just didn't take it.
and then you balls it up and got yelly. And it's like, why?
Honestly.
Why?
Just... It's an itchy day today, sir.
Yes, but then again, it's like,
I remember we were commenting about how when I get really overtired, I get really itchy all over. And you said you had something similar.
yeah, but then again, I've usually done like, yawn. Like, I've usually been up for like 24 hours or something at that point, and I'm getting...
Likewise,
I think-
like this is the,
yeah.
when I say overtired, it's I've been awake for 36 hours straight.
What light? Yeah,
Now we get to
the bathhouse.
see something
Which-
occurring in a bathhouse.
Though I must admit, that it does look like actually a very nice place.
Does indeed. No Blair Witch inside.
Yep.
I think I remember. I actually do recall calling who was inside the bathhouse, and we get to. Hang on. There's only one problem. Is it a boy or a girl? Is that necessarily a problem? I guess it is for Semyon, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Then again, he does come across the type of person who. But then again, it's some. I think he. Did we just miss the line where he's just like, if it's a guy, that's fine, like, whatever. But he doesn't want the awkward situation of it being a girl.
Yeah, no, he said that. Like,
Yeah.
there's only one problem. Is it a boy or a girl? In the first case, we could just have a bath together without any worries. But in the second case, he's just gonna baiter it up.
Yep. Though, in this case, then he literally goes, so how do I determine this? I pick the creepiest option I can think of.
Mm-hmm. And we get to see this.
I like how it's just like too foggy to see, but I can see.
This.
And it's like,
And then we just get all levels of creepy.
yeah, he just
Have
creeps.
Have fun censoring all of this, James.
Oh,
I think
even
you
then,
can
it's just the wording they use in the scene is great.
even if a war broke out, he couldn't leave his observation points. Just and the way it's described is how she's acting. It's almost as if it's like a porno tier.
Yeah, but then again, it's also coming from the description given by a teenager.
Well, physically, anyway.
No, he's a teenager. Like, at what point has he acted in a way that suggests he's an adult?
He could just be really immature, honestly. But yeah,
Like, we know that he does act incredibly childish. And then he realized this. He's kind of standing in, like, the middle of the path.
and this is not the first time he's perved on Slavia. Not
Yes.
this playthrough.
Though, even then, it suggested that she noticed.
Yeah, I remember commenting like, "Is she going to notice this time as well?" Snort. And of course, she walks directly for his hideout.
That's because he's literally standing like next to the path. It's not so much of a hideout, it's like the side of the building.
Yeah, totally. But she just strolls on past. Looks like he's lucky. And then we get this magical scene. Get another piece of
Just,
cognitive brilliance from Simeon.
I think that's probably the best description of that. It's cognitive.
It's like, I don't need a bath anymore. I'm just going to go.
I think it's more of the I just want to get back to my room where I'm safe.
I almost did something that was just going to take things way too far, but no, I'm not going to cross that line. This is going in a public forum.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now he's just trying not to fall asleep whilst walking to the camp.
Which he half managed to do, and then it's just like...
Suddenly, Slavia. It's just like...
I still reckon he straight up fell asleep just then.
A micro-sleep.
Yep.
Averting his eyes shyly. Well, she didn't know you were there, mate. You don't need... Just play it. Just pretend like nothing happened. See how far that gets you. We know for a fact it won't get far.
In the end,
I remember us talking about how she was clearly Baba Yaga.
Yeah, probably, yeah, you're right. And Simeon just
come on now, Simeon. Simeon.
And there's the music.
Now, there's a way to get out of this.
There's not many ways to get out of this.
There is a way, but can our protagonist come up with the goods under pressure? I mean, we know the answer, but still.
I think his life did depend on this answer, to be honest.
Andy's, it's a save. And he's just like, I want to get out of here. I don't want to be on this planet anymore. Hey, you're gonna have a bath too? Well, I mean, he was, but you were using it at the time. Just, yep, I'm gonna have a bath. Good night! Unnaturally, just stiffly walking off as if nothing's wrong, but everything's wrong.
I think she realized that too. It's like...
what?
Yeah,
okay.
that choice of character art there, I think she was definitely like that did not seem like a natural... I think she realized that something was amiss with that last few sentences.
You'd have to be somewhat mentally challenged not to. Or at least socially challenged, perhaps. I don't know.
And we know Slavia is neither of those.
Yeah.
Unless you're on that one line.
That's right. Contrary to Slavia washing herself, that's just like, I washed myself. It didn't take much time. It's blatant objectification of women and sexism, and now I'm starting to sound like a white knight. I'm being ironic.
Then again, it's not even ironic or like blatantly. I was like, no, I know for a fact that
Soviet games knows their audience.
Based purely on my real life experiences, guys take far less time.
Yeah, sometimes I do like to sit in the shower and ponder about things, but if I'm in a hurry, I can get in and out of a shower within 5 minutes or less.
60 seconds?
Yeah, it depends on whether I have to like shampoo and how thoroughly I have to soap myself.
Short hair, as long as it gets wet, it's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have scalp problems, so I have to shampoo. Otherwise, it's not fun, shall we say? I can't really ruffle my hair too vigorously most of the time, anyway.
That's unfortunate. I usually just deal with it by having not enough hair to require any sort of shampooing.
But Ms. Dmitrievna's asleep, and he's just lying there thinking about what happened. He's just admitting, like, I'm thinking about the hot naked chick I saw. I'm not bothering to think about answers.
Then again, he stopped thinking about answers long time ago with this line. But yes, with that, with Simeon's incredibly awkward, rather rude, but nice evening, we will leave it there for this time round, and we thank you all. So have a good day, good evening, and good night.
Later, guys.